Well, hello and welcome back to Cobra Vids. This one's going to be a motorcycle video. And as you can see, I just got done detailing out my bike. This bike has become my daily rider. I ride it back and forth to work every day I can, as long as the weather's good. And boy, did I shine her up. She looks pretty good. I'm pretty impressed with how she turned out. She's all shined up. The chrome could be buffed out a little more, but I'm kind of pooped out on that. I've also got this project over here going on, and so baby steps, I guess, but she looks pretty good. I'm going to be happy riding her for the next few weeks until she gets dirty again. But yeah, all right, well, on to today's video. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing some maintenance to the bike. And what we're going to be doing specifically is we're going to be doing the brake fluid. Whoa. All right, so what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be doing the handlebar brake fluid, and down here the foot brake fluid exchange. If you're ever, oh man, a bug splattered my. All right, so if you've ever been riding your bike, and especially when you first get on it, if you squeeze your brake and it goes kind of, that's the only way I can describe it, but it kind of feels resistant, kind of like rubber seals kind of binding as you're pulling them in, then chances are your fluid needs changed. My guess would be it's got moisture in it or something to that effect, because for some reason motorcycle brake fluid needs change more often. The Kawasaki Vulcan, the manual says 8,000 miles or 8 months. Well, I've had it since 2019 and it's 2023 now, and I've never done it. I've got 14,000 miles on it, so it's almost double the mileage that you're supposed to do it at. So I'm going to go ahead and get her done so that I can call that good. If you set your bike up like this, even though it's leaning on the kickstand, this tank is pretty much level. So you don't have to worry about, when you pull this cap off, you don't have to worry about spilling out because it's pretty level. When you do the bottom part here, you definitely want to make sure that when you're topping it off to get it right where it should be, you want to make sure that the bike is level so that you can get it right in the middle of the level lines. Are you able to even see down that far? I don't know, I'm all tapping on it like you can see it, but it's right about there. That's where the rear brake reservoir is, right there, because it's all hydraulic, no cables on this. All right, so first of all, I'm going to pull off this cap, and then what we have to do is we have to suck out the fluid that's in the reservoir. And once you suck it all out, as long as you don't push this, you won't get any air in the brake lines. So you want to suck out all the fluid to where it's dry, and then you want to put fresh .4 fluid in the reservoir, fill it up, and then what you have to do is you have to either be Stretch Armstrong, or you can get a buddy to sit here and pump the brakes, so that you can bleed it off down there. And once you bleed off enough to where the fluid's coming out clean, then you could tighten your bleeder screw and you can top off this, put the cap back on it. Because all you need to do is get fresh fluid in the line and inside the caliper, and then you're done. Well, we're going to show you all that in detail today so that I can get mine done and you can see how it's done. So, all right, I'm going to get a screwdriver, get that cap off, and we'll see what that fluid looks like inside. Okay, so the screwdriver you want to use is a beefy one, but not gigantic, not a little tiny one, because if you use too small of a screwdriver, you'll strip out these screws. I guarantee it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and pop this off, and I'll show you what it looks like. Whoops, I just dropped my screws. Don't drop your screws. You'll need them. What's interesting is this one here is much different than my Z400 I had. It actually has a little rubber thingy in here. Oh, you see how dirty that fluid is? That fluid is dirty. That is supposed to be pretty much crystal clear. And I would say there's water in there. I don't know if it comes off, but it almost looks like there's like water separating in there. But that's definitely bad fluid. And I can't find my sucker. No, not Tootsie Roll Pop, but my sucker to suck all that out. So I got to go find something. If not, I'll just use some paper towels. It's not very much fluid in the reservoir there. Be right back. Okay, so I got a pan down here with a small Lowe's bag to catch my greasy rags here. But I'll just go ahead and absorb them up. As most of you that follow my channel know, I'm not fully set up in my garage. I'm still trying to get my garage built. So it's really hard for me to really operate too much, and that's why I haven't been doing too many projects in the garage, because I just don't have access to all my tools. And again, as long as I'm not compressing this, I'll be good. Okay, we'll just use one more piece and we'll save the rest for the bottom one. Alright, so all the fluid is out of it now. Okay, so we got some .4. I'm not happy with the brand. I usually try to get a name brand, but for some reason, man, I don't know if all the bikes are out and they're buying all the name brand shit up, but this is all I could find. So it'll work. I mean, pretty much all the brake fluid and oils and stuff are pretty much made in the same factory. They're just bottled in a different bottle. So I'm going to top this one off all the way up until I think it's a little over full. There we go. And let me show you what the new fluid looks like. This is what the new fluid looks like. Now there is a tinge of that brown color, but that's probably just stained. The aluminum's probably stained. If I sprayed some brake cleaner in there, I could have cleaned it all up. But that is much better looking, and that's going to work so much nicer. So now, since I have absolutely nobody here to help me, this is going to be kind of interesting. I'm going to have to work the bleeder screw. This is a 10mm wrench, and you just remove the little cap here, and then I normally put a piece of hose on here and put it into like a bottle so I can see the fluid coming out. So let's see if I can find something like that so we can do this right. Alrighty guys, I got a bottle down there now, and she's all ready to catch the fluid. I put her inside of a brick so that it doesn't fall over. And what we're going to do, I'm hoping that my hands don't get in the way for y'all, but I'm going to start squeezing the handbrake, and once I feel it's getting tight, then I'll slowly let off the bleeder screw until fluid starts to flow, and then I'll follow the grip down just before it hits bottom, and then I'll cap it off. And then I'll let up and keep doing it until the reservoir is almost empty. You never want to let the reservoir go completely empty, because then you'll get air in the lines, and then you'll be out here pumping and bleeding brakes until the cows come home. What does that even mean anyway? Do the cows really come home? But now I'm going to switch over to the hand grip brake, the handbrake, so you can see the action up there. So as I continue, you'll see how I work this here. Okay, so you can see the brake fluid coming out of that caliper is pretty dirty too. So what I'll do is I'll dump this out so that we can see when it starts to clear out. And that way there, we'll know when we're done, so we don't have to waste too much brake fluid. And the reservoir is about halfway down now, so I'll keep a close eye on it to make sure it doesn't deplete fully. There isn't much that comes out of there, but I can already tell it's starting to clean up a little bit. We'll dump it out, start again. It's really starting to clean up, but it's still coming out dirty, so we got to keep going. And right now we've used one whole reservoir full. I'm going to top it off again. Okay, well, that's going to wrap it up for the top half. So let's see if we can work on the bottom half. All right, so the only thing I have left to do is top this off to where it's in the safe zone. And here we're going. Here we go. The way you do that is you just fill it up. That little hole in there is actually the fill hole, what's going to tell you when it's good. And how you tell is up front, you'll see it. See those two little lines there, or that single line, that low mark, you don't want it that low. And it's right at the top of that glass where I'm going to leave it. Because what that does is it gives it plenty of room for that rubber boot to go in there, and room enough for it to move around as you're using the brakes. Okay, in order to put this in properly, the grommet side down, and that's why you don't fill it all the way top, because this has to slip down in there a little bit. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to slip it on this plastic piece first, just like that, and then we'll work it in there. That makes it so much easier, guys. I'm going to put it where the writing is readable if you're sitting on it. That's how it was when I first got it off. I'll put these back in here. And when you're tightening these up, just get down just flush, and then go to the other one and get the other one just flush, right? And then snug them up. They don't have to be gorilla tight. They just have to be firm enough to keep it from riding out when you're riding. So, okay. There's going to be a little bit of splash over if you're sloppy like I was. It's not good to get it on your paint, by the way. That's why you keep your bike polished. All right, this one's going to be a little different because we're going to need the 10mm wrench, and it's on the bleeder screw. This is probably an 8. Yeah, it's an 8. So let me go get the proper thing for that. All right, so this is an 8. Yes, it is. Okay, take this screw off. This is just a cover that covers the reservoir, protects it from rocks and whatnot. Okay, and we're going to open this one up the same way. It has very similar things in it. Okay, so we'll set those down safely. And let me show you this fluid. As you can see, that fluid is very dirty as well. It needs to be cleaned out and bled off just the same. This one's going to be kind of harder because I can't reach the back, so I will need to get somebody out here to assist me. Now we'll do the same thing. We'll top this off here. See, I've heard of some just changing the fluid out in the reservoir, but that does nothing for your system because there's a brake line that goes all the way back to the back. And the caliper back there has dirty brake fluid in it, and you cannot have that happen. So, okay, I'm going to go get somebody out here so they can assist me in this job. All right, so here are the lower and upper caliper bleeding screws right here. And what I did was I chose the top one first, and by the time I got all the old fluid out of it, I switched to the lower one and only fresh fluid came out. So that means to me that they're connected, and the lower one is the first one in line, and it would make sense because the brake line connects right here. So I only had to do one, and then I did this one just to make sure, and only clean fluid came out of there. So I'm all done. So that is how you do the back ones as well. Just the same process. Pump the brake, release, tighten, repeat until all the old fluid is out. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for the brake fluid exchange in the 2019 Vulcan Classic LT. I hope this helps you get yours done. And remember, it's supposed to be done every 8,000 miles. Don't go as long as I went. It's never good for the bike. Until next time, guys, stay safe, ride free, we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.